Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you aren't already aware, it's October 2025 and it's Black History Month. And for the next week, I'll be putting out a few videos celebrating Black chess players and their achievements and legacies. For today's video, I'll be looking at the first ever Black Grandmaster who achieved this title in 1999. His name is Maurice Ashley. Just as a fun fact, there are more billionaires in the world than chess grandmasters, so this achievement isn't a mean feat in any way. For today's video, I'll be looking at a game he played against Sunil Weeramantry, who was the stepfather of Hikaru. The game was played at the 1997 New York Open, and I hope you enjoyed the game and the video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you. Well, in this game, Maurice was playing with the white pieces and Sunil was playing with the black pieces. And Maurice opened the game with pawn to e4. The game continued pawn to d6, pawn to d4, pawn to g7, knight to c3, and bishop to g7. So this is one of those hyper-modern openings where one side cedes control over the center. They allow the other side to occupy the center with the idea that they're going to place pressure on the center with their pieces, or with a break like either c5 or e5, either c5 or e5, or they could play for expansion on the queen side with something like c6 and with b5. So this is a common plan. It's seen in so many openings like the Grunfeld, the King's Indian, where you allow the other side to occupy the center, but you use the center as an object of attack. So in this game, he continued bishop e3, which is the main line, and he opts for the plan of queenside expansion with c6. Alternatively, you could also play knight f6. Then the game can continue with either f3 or with queen to d2. And the idea is white wants to castle long, black is going to castle short, h4, h5, c6, b5. And yeah, you attack me on there, attack you on there, and whoever opens up the other side kings first is going to have a checkmating attack. Usually in this line, from what I've noticed, it's usually white that gets the attack first because black already has a hook with h4. So yeah, he plays for a different plan with expansion on the queen side. And now we have b5, f3, knight to d7, h4. He's trying to use the hook on g6. He stops the expansion, but in doing so, if you realize something, by playing h5, black has weakened his control over the square g5, and that could be a square for the white knight. The knight's going to go there, which may seem odd, but by going there, it's aiming for g5, and f6 isn't really a move that black wants to play because a wise man once said in the first place, never play f6. But besides that, f6 makes this bishop miserable, and it also weakens the square e6. So you lose a lot by playing f6. So yeah, he plays knight to h3, aiming for g5, knight to b6, knight g5, rook to b8. He's fully invested in his ideas of expansion on the queen side. The knight drops back. And if you notice something, he's in no rush to get this bishop out because there isn't really a good square for this bishop yet. The bishop going there isn't really doing much. It's just in the way of everything. There is not really doing much there either. So the bishop most often waits to see when is the right time to come into the game. And by playing knight there, it's a prophylactic move. He's anticipating black's idea of expanding on the queen side, and he doesn't want the expansion to come with tempo on his knight. So Maurice steps his knight out of the way. Black strikes the center with he strikes the center, and now yeah, this is another position where it's quite instructive. Fischer once said something that in chess, to gain control over a certain square, you must lose control over other squares. And right now, the white pawns on d4 and e4 are controlling f5, e5, d5, and c5. But if this one moves, you've lost control over this. But in return, you've gained more space in the center. So by so in chess, every move you make comes with a plus and with a minus. The plus of this move is you gain central control, but the minus is you've lost control of f5. So you have to weigh up what you gain against what you lose to decide if the move is the best move. So first, he plays bishop to f4 first to harass this rook. This rook doesn't really want to go to a8 because going to a8 is just miserable. So he goes to b7 instead. Now he plays e5. He opts for central expansion. But yes, as I said, in doing so, he's lost control over f5. The knight aims for f5. The knight goes to, the bishop goes there to sort of like capture this knight. The knight goes to f5. And generally in chess, the bishops are placed with a lot more, well, not a lot more value, slightly more value than the knight. But this isn't an absolute rule, like nothing is in chess. It depends on the position, and generally in close positions, knights are considered to be better. In open positions, bishops are considered to be better. But the engines, in particular, they have a lot more value for bishops over knights. And he plays there and he captures it, which, as you can see, the engine doesn't quite like it. The engine prefers a plan like c3 to defend the center, and if the white queen gets attacked, if you play queen e2, e2 in particular, because from e2 you could also in future play for a move like g4, which kicks away this knight. The knight seems well placed there now, but it's not going to be there in the long run. But he opts for just capturing the knight instead. The bishop takes back, the knight comes up, and now the black queen is attacked. And this is where I would ask you to stop your video and do some calculations, because the knight is attacking the queen and this one. If you just move your queen back to c1, then you probably just have an equal position, nothing much is happening. And yeah, but if you have a keen tactical eye, you will realize something, that this bishop is undefended. And in chess, there's a general rule which is a LPDO, loose pieces drop off. Yeah, loose pieces drop off. So the bishop is undefended. So instead of defending his queen, Maurice instead sacrifices his queen with knight takes on f5. And now this move creates a lot of complications. Black's best move isn't to capture the queen, and you're going to see why in just a second. Black's best move is to capture the knight instead, and then that gives white enough time to move his queen away. But instead, in the game, he captured the queen. Now white has this Zwischenzug, knight takes bishop with check. Now the king really has only one move to sort of like to keep the fight alive. If the king goes to f8, then the game ends on the spot with knight to e6. You could also use the other knight. It doesn't really make a difference. And if you take back, the king goes there, you take there, LPDO, another loose piece, and now the knight is attacking this rook on there. This knight is also being attacked. So this knight has to give itself up with check. You take and you take. But at the end of this line, you realize that one side is just up a piece. Two rooks, up a bishop, save king. This rook is going to come across this way. This pawn is weak. Not there, but there. This pawn is weak. You're going to put some pressure on there with the rooks. So yeah, this just, so king to f8. Black is going to lose on the spot after this line. So he goes to d7 instead, which, as you can see, is still bad, but it keeps the fight alive. Now he plays the best move, e6. And he goes to c8. He took on there, which is also the best move. And black saves his knight. So now if you take stock of this position, the queen sack is more for positional ideas. It's not like white sacks his queen and in the next 4 moves he has mate. No, he sacked his queen for the pressure he's going to have on the position. One of these knights is going to end up on e6, mainly this one. This bishop is immense. It just cuts across the king. It cuts across like the whole board essentially. The king is unsafe. This rook is out of the game. It's like offsides. Yes, this knight is good, but you can always kick away this knight. And if the missing piece of the puzzle for white is, if white can get can open up a file for his rooks, then this black king is going to be in a lot of heat. And so in the game, it's continued knight to e6. I'll just not turn this off a second. This move feedback stuff. Just give me a second. There we go. Yeah, and queen to a5. Well, he played the king f2, which is the best move. The queen goes there, attacking the pawn. He defends the pawn, kicks away the knight, like I earlier said, and the knight drops back. And he plays this move, which I really like. The engine doesn't quite like it as much because of the end, but it's a human move. He played this move. Like I said earlier, the missing piece for white is to open up a file for his rooks. And this move is a very human move. The engine prefers a different line, but I kind of like this. It's like it highlights the ideas from like a human perspective. And the queen took, the rook steps across. Now this rook is immensely active. The queen checks, king drops back. Now he played queen rook b6, which is an inaccuracy. He defends this pawn, but like I said in chess, when you try to control something, you lose control over something else. In doing so, he's lost control over this. He's lost the. He defended this pawn on a7, but in defending this one now, he's lost control over the defense of this one. And Maurice here does something which I really like. He baits the black queen to take another one. So he played rook to b1. The best move for black is not to take this pawn, but to just hide the queen there. And as you can see, it's still bad. It's still very bad, but at least you're holding the game. You've got a queen. There might be some sort of like tactical opportunity that might sort of arise in some way or some form. You just never know. But he took on there. Now the rook comes across. The queen takes another pawn. The rook takes on a7. And now, as you can see, both rooks are immensely active. One is on the 7th rank, one is on the open file. And practically for black in this position, it's difficult to play. Like, what do you even do? If you play like a move like check on there, king to g1, what could, say you go queen f5 for example, then a check comes there. You don't really want to defend it with your rook because now another check. Say you defend this one with a rook, for example, and this rook takes on there, king to b7, rook to a6, and this king is stuck in a mating net, and it gets bad. Alternatively, if you say king steps up, then you lose this rook, and white is going to queen on the next move. So practically to play this position for black is almost hopeless. And yeah. Sunil blundered. He played rook b7. So I would ask you to stop your video to calculate why rook to b7 is a blunder. Well, I hope you did. In the game continued. Rook takes on b7, which might seem a bit counterintuitive. Like, why are you exchanging off rooks when you're attacking? But it's backed by tactical reasons because both captures for white, for black, is disastrous. First and first, if you capture with the king, then the knight comes there with check. You win the queen. This knight is pinned. You might just take this knight away on the next move. You've got a pass pawn there. Is well defended by this knight. You just have a rook. You can step across this way, do some stuff on there, and yeah, it's hopeless. The other capture, on the other hand, loses the game on the spot with mate after rook c6. This was where he resigned, but I will just show you the mate after king to d7. Only move, well, the checkmating move is rook to c7. I'll say that was a brilliant game by Maurice Ashley. He's such a big inspiration, and if you enjoyed this video, I'll be doing a lot more videos like this on other black chess players in the next week or so. So stay tuned for more, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.